Good morning. It's Wednesday, but I actually recorded this video at the church yesterday. I was over there doing some work and I thought, hey, I'm going to go out for a walk and record a video. But I get outside and the wind was blowing, and the problem is when you're trying to record in the wind blows across the mic and it makes it really hard to hear. So I'm just standing out in the parking lot and it's just snowing lightly. I don't know if you can see the snow, but it's just snowing lightly right now. Anyway, the devotion today, not a really deep theological lesson, but it is truth, and all truth is profitable and beneficial for us. The lesson today was on following your heart. Now, you've all heard that term, follow your heart or listen to your heart. There's songs written about it, all kinds of songs about it. There's movies that are based on the whole thing about listening to your heart. And anyway, you all know people that have used the term many, many times. And it's a philosophy of today. It is believed by so many people that is the way we should make decisions, is by following our heart. But is it actually good advice? Is it actually a good thing to listen to your heart when it comes to making decisions? Whether it be decisions about relationships or making a new purchase, or how to respond to somebody that's, said something to you or shared something with you. Is it a good idea to listen to your heart when it comes to making these kind of decisions? It's actually a really good way of making bad decisions, is what it is. What our heart tells us what we want to hear. Our heart tells us that we should do things that make us happy. And that's not a good way to make decisions. The problem is that what we're feeling in the moment when we follow what our heart wants us to do changes in a moment. And what makes us feel good today and what we think is a really good idea today may be a horrible idea tomorrow and might make us feel horrible tomorrow. Our hearts tell us what we want to hear. It tells us what our desires are and what our felt needs are, not our real needs, what we feel like our needs are. And God has given us other things. He's given us our intellect, our mind, to make intelligent decisions. He's given us that intuition or that gut feeling to help us make decisions. And what happens when we make decisions just based upon what our heart tells us? They end up being usually foolish decisions. And a lot of times we really regret them. And those decisions also lead to harmful effects a lot of times. So a lot of times listening to our heart, making decisions, actually is sin. Jesus warns us. In his word, he warns us about listening to our heart. I'll read to you what he says. He says, "For from within, out of the heart of a man, comes evil thoughts, theft, sexual immorality, murder, adultery, coveting, wickedness, envy, deceit, pride, slander, foolishness." All these evil things come from within, from our heart. All we have to do is look around us. Look around us at people that have made decisions by following their heart or their feelings. It ends up in really bad decisions that breaks up families and marriages, and addictions are just running rampant. If we look to Jeremiah, in Jeremiah 17:19, I'll read it to you. It says, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand it?" So while we have trouble sometimes understanding our hearts, God doesn't. God knows exactly what we need. And what we need a lot of times is not what we want or what our feelings tell us we should have. He knows the path that we should be taking. And the path that he wants us to take is not the one that leads to momentary satisfaction that fades away. The path that he has for us is one that leads to everlasting peace and everlasting joy. Now, I'm not saying that your feelings are not important. No, that's not what I'm trying to say, because everybody's feelings are important. It's just that our feelings or our heart is not what should be trusted. God has given us our heart, yes. But he's also given us our intellect and our intuition. And all three of these are key in making decisions. But he's also given us his word, the Bible, which shows us the truth. And that's where we learn truth from, is from the Bible. He's also given us Jesus, who is an example of truth. And he's given us the Holy Spirit that leads us in truth and strengthens us. So following your heart to make a decision, Very bad idea. We need to follow what God has given us and use all the gifts God has given us, which includes our heart, our intellect, our intuition, His Word, the Holy Spirit. These are the ways to make good decisions. Jesus will never lead us astray. Anyway, thanks for listening today, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.